Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What weird circumstances bring us together online today? Hope this is making it through to you and you're finding this on Finglish 101, my new YouTube channel. I'm not even sure if this works. I've never done this. I'm borrowing my wife's iPad just to do this. So hoping to help you get through your at-home study of the Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. Fabulous book. I know a lot of you are getting it at home today, showing up in the mail and you're thinking, wow, this is a massive book, and it is, but it's a great text. It's a truly wonderful piece of American literature, and for those people who, sort of timid readers, this is a great one to read. It's in modern English. It's about regular people speaking with regular dialogue. It's not too heady, but there's some great philosophical parts to it. Anyway, today I'm just going to talk a little bit about the word wall. That packet that you got home today, or at some point this week or last week, whatever it is, has a spot for the word wall that we traditionally do in class. And the packet asks you to decide what 5 words or concepts to use based on your personal experience, and you can go ahead and do that. But today I was just going to talk about the word wall we have up here in class, and talk about a few of those concepts related to the book. And you're welcome to use these too as those word wall. I'm not going to be able to write down definitions for you, but talk about them generally speaking. Hey, so this poster here features Tom Joad, the protagonist of the piece, a really unlikely hero for the Grapes of Wrath. When we first meet him, when you first read about him coming home in chapter 2, he's known as the hitchhiker. He's a guy just sort of walking down the street in an ill-fitted suit, and we soon learn that Tom Joad has just been released from McAllister Penitentiary. He's in there for murdering a guy, technically homicide. He was in a bar fight and smashed this guy's head in with a shovel. Really unlikely hero, but he does become the hero of the book moving forward. Anyway, I've got 5 words here to talk to about, and actually, due to the sort of crazy circumstances that we're experiencing today, this book is really relevant. It's about a time in the U.S. history, the Dust Bowl, where the normal course of operations was completely overturned. Right? We had the Great Depression. We had these Midwestern farmers, in particular Oklahoma, which is the setting of the first part of the book, being forced off their land by storms, by drought, by a lack of economic stability during the Great Depression, and that's very much to do with what we're dealing with right now. A lot of us are looking at the stock market and seeing that sink. We're used to coming to school. There's a big social aspect. There's a big interpersonal aspect of going to school. And a lot of these things sort of apply today. So let's have a look at some of these words. Okay, I've got 5 concepts. These concepts I chose because they kind of apply to people today. This is a story about a family hitting hard times, right? The first word is recession. You can look up the technical definition. But essentially, it's a moment in our financial reality where our gross domestic product stops growing, and things start shrinking in terms of gains and profits, and that has an impact to all of us, right? So you can look up recession and see what that's about. I'm betting that this COVID-19 bug is going to force us into a bit of a recession, but I'm sure we're going to get through it together, right? The second one, technological unemployment. The Joad family with Tom at its center. Tom's coming home, but his home's gone, right? His small family farm has been closed down. The banks repossessed it, and his job, his way of life is gone. He's got to go and find a new way of life. Technological unemployment is something that we face in a daily reality as people going into the 21st century. A lot of the jobs that we sort of take for granted are being replaced by technology. So I'm kind of looking at that parallel there. The next word that I had on the word wall is inflation. Right? It's the power of money to lose its value over time. Right? So if I like to use the analogy, and if you have a nice pair of jeans today and you slip $20 into that back pocket, That those jeans go in the wash tonight, they get washed, they got folded, put away, they end up in the bottom of the pile. And if you can imagine pulling out those jeans 20 years later, first of all, you put them on and they fit, and it's a miracle. They fit after 20 years. Good luck with that. But then you reach to the back pocket, right, and you find something in there. It's a $20 bill. Wow, it's amazing. But the reality is that $20 out of that back pocket, after 20 years sitting in that back pocket, it's probably going to buy less, right? It's not going to be as valuable. And that's something that we kind of deal with every day as, we put money in the bank and it loses a bit of value. That's sort of something that's happening on a gross scale in this book because the stability of prices is all over the place. It's the Great Depression and so on and so forth. So a bit of a tie-in for today, right? Credit score is another one. I'd encourage you to have a look at this, and maybe your business teacher could help you with this as well. Is this number that you're assigned as part of our financial system that determines how worthy you are of being lent money, and it has a huge impact on how much you pay for big ticket items like a house, like a car, right? And we have a lot of things that we talk about in class about credit score, but I used it as an example of the fact that you, as an individual, are part of an economic system that has a whole lot of things about it that you don't maybe even know about. And those things do impact your life. And so if you have a bad credit score, you're going to end up paying more money to borrow money. And it can prevent you from doing certain things that you might want to do, like buying a car or buying a house. And it's definitely worth looking up your credit score and seeing how you can impact that credit score and what power it has over you. The parallel to the Grapes of Wrath is, as you get reading in the book, you'll find in chapter 5, the bank representatives come and kick the families off the land. These families don't understand the financial system that's kicking them off the land. They just don't get it. Their great-grandfather stole this land from the Native Americans, and they've been settled there ever since. At some point someone took out a mortgage on the land, and now they can't pay it back because of the Dust Bowl. But they're not really getting that. It's one of those powers that sort of supersedes all the best efforts of the people in the book. Hey, our final words for you, and this is a great term to know. It's called eminent domain. This story is about a family that is sort of pushed off its land, right, by the Dust Bowl, by economic factors in the Great Depression. And, we tend to think today, well, that doesn't really happen today. But the reality is there is this law of eminent domain that says, if the public needs to use your land for the public good, we can repossess that land, give you fair market value for it, and ask you to move. So there's this sense that, even if you're today living in like a house that your great-granddad built by hand, if for some reason the town, the city, needs to use that piece of land to do something for the public good, you don't necessarily own it. So it's a great exercise in ownership. Hey, at any rate, that's been the explanation of the 5 words that I chose for the word wall. And again, I would encourage you, to use these words and look them up and get those definitions that way, or maybe view this a couple of times. Or you can choose your own words as you're reading through the book, and I think that might be a great exercise for you as well. Hey, so thank you so much for looking, guys, and keep checking in to see more videos where I'm going to try to explain various chapters of the book and the study guide. Okay, thanks a lot.